Well, good morning. Very nice to be here. Thanks for having us, Paul. Honored to be here, and good to be here in a nice air-conditioned room on this day. So I think I have about 10 minutes to present who Disruptive Technologies are. It's a big name, I know, and what do we have to do with the building sector. So gathering facts everywhere is what it says here. The company has set out, we're Norwegian, we have set out to make, first of all, a piece of technology that is so small and accessible, I have it right here, that you can literally put it anywhere. And that, in a surprising amount, applies to buildings, where you just gather facts around the building. Facts like temperature, facts like is a door open or closed, facts like is it wet somewhere, facts like what is the pipe temperature in my hot water supply, things like that, in a very easy, accessible way. That's what we do. We've been around as a company for a surprising amount of time. 2013 is when our founder set out to let's do this really small, right? Because we are a maker of semiconductors. Those are chips. This is our heritage. So our founder set out as, okay, we have the radio technology. It lasts super long. If you transmit radio signals on one battery, it can last up to 15 years. So let's make sensors out of that, right? And do cool things. So this is what we do. Today, I like to call us a maturing startup. We're 52 people, right? So maybe more in scaling mode now. We have about just under 40,000 sensors out in the field with paying customers, and a large share of that is in smart building applications, right? Another large part is in energy, and we also do quite a bit of cold chain applications, food and pharmaceuticals, right? So a quick look at what we do. So sensor is right here, 19 millimeters, weighs 2 grams. You can literally stick it anywhere. And this makes it so suitable for retrofit. So we're in this flash, wonderful new building. I'm sure it's full of sensors already, but looking at other buildings and buildings that exist is sometimes not that easy. And if you want to install something new, we're here to help. So let's see if I can work this right. There, okay. So very quickly, what I was saying, in terms of sensor types that we do, this is a touch sensor. If I touch it, I will get basically a notification here on my smartphone, on my application, but basically you can just track when people want service. You can track when people do maintenance jobs, that they've physically been there and touched the sensor, right? So it needs skin contact. It's like a button, really, right? There's temperature sensors, and there are our little workhorses. They're everywhere. They're the very large chunk of our installations. It's not only room temperatures, which is obviously interesting. You can start tracking room temperatures in a very granular way, do zone management for room temperatures, look at outside and inside temperatures, and feed that back to your building management system using the sensors. That's obvious. But we do a lot more. These being so small, we put them on water pipes to find out what water temperature is, to see if regulations are, being honored. We put them on fuses and power lines. That is actually quite big for us. And track what sort of power is going through an electrical installation, right? So temperature is a lot more than just room temperature. Thirdly, there's what we call the proximity sensor. You see that little Windows signal on there. In real life, it's often a door. We like to print use cases on the sensors. So putting a proximity sensor in a door frame, it will sense the door coming close into proximity. But it can literally be anything, not just a door coming close. But this way you track window, door openings, you can track if people sit on a chair, you can track if a breaker switch opens up or is closed again, things like that. So lots of applications. So very quickly, let's look at the whole thing. So you can have a very large number of sensors connected to what we call the cloud connector. Please come and see me outside. I have my little, like Paul said, my little booth there. You just plug a cloud connector into a power socket. It finds its cellular mobile network, and you start getting data, right? So all you need is power, really, and these sensors that last so long. And then you can look at your data, but more importantly, you feed it into applications, building management systems, software platforms. You see a number of partners that we work with here, including some of the big players in the building space, but literally it's open, it's an open interface. And I'll finish up with just showing you some of the applications that we do. This is something we do quite a bit, especially around the UK, which has to do with water quality, water temperatures, and regulations around Legionella protection. So you need to make sure that pipes are flushed regularly. You need to make sure that water has a certain temperature, and we track that without opening up the pipe, which used to be necessary. You just stick some sensors on. We have some nice brackets as well to put them on. What else do we do? Electrical supply I mentioned. Industrial, a lot of the times in terms of bus bar systems, electrical supply systems. But also for the large electrical providers, utility companies use us, especially for the last mile, like the 400-volt lines, to see which power lines are being used, which aren't. Which in our time, you know, people install electrical vehicle chargers at home now. All of a sudden, the power line has this massive load, and the electrical companies find out when it's too late. Right? With us, they find out earlier, sooner. And this is it makes people smile, but this is a very large area of application for us to know how much a particular washroom has been used. Send the cleaning teams, not all the time or on fixed intervals, but maybe more often or less often when it's not needed, based on usage. So we track door openings for the little cubicles. We track soap dispensers and use of that. We track paper towel dispensers. These are all things you can do with those sensors, right? So smart cleaning services is interesting. And then this being the obvious one, comfort and temperature control within buildings. Used to be a very early use case for us. It's still going on, and we're integrating with a lot of the CAFM and building management systems out there. Okay, and maybe a last topic, which is on a lot of people's minds, is space occupancy. Now, people are creating all of these flex desks, right, and zones where people just find an open desk. So you want to help them find out which ones are available. You also want to help property developers and owners maybe, and operators to find out how is my space being used. So these sensors, both for proximity and also for temperature, will help you tell which desk is being used and which isn't. And I have a couple of software solutions from software partners here with us to show you how that is being done. Okay, so let's build great things together. I think this is what this market is still about. Let's find out what you need, and let's make it happen. Please come see me at the booth. Thank you.